We saw the whole crypto market wake up in a big way over the last 24 hours. XRP made a name for itself by going all the way up to $2.63 at one point. Right now it did flip Tether for a while. As far as we know, XRP is just a little less valuable than Tether by about $2 billion. There is still a very, very good sign that things will get better later this year though. This market is going to keep going up. There may be small bumps in the road where we have a nice little sell-off or adjustment. I think we will go much higher from here on out though because of how things look with the tax talks and the trade war in general. We know that Trump pretty much confirmed that the bull run will continue, which I talked about in a video earlier today where I talked about the deal between the US and China. Besides that, we have a lot more to look forward to in the future. But let's take a look at XRP, which is worth about $2.47 right now. Again, there was a nice little drop from the $2.63 mark. If we look at the candle itself, it was close to the all-time high from December 1st. Like this is where the lights actually went out, which means we were close to that level. You can see that we ran into a lot of trouble. However, the total trade volume went up by more than 189% today, which is equal to almost $11 billion. This was really amazing to see. But there was a big wake-up call in the market, which we love to see. Aside from just looking at CoinMarketCap though, when we look at the picture, I do see two possible outcomes. The first thing we do is sell back into the demand zone and make a higher low. We are moving away from the lows we have seen so far on this figure. Our first low point is from April, and our second low point is from around the beginning of May. Then, where could our high point be? It would be about $2.22, I think. We could even use the same plan from the 10th and 11th to do it again. That same pattern might start to show up here too. The next big push will happen when we get a daily close above $2 and around 55 cents, which are the levels from the end of March. I'm keeping a close eye on this to see which situation we get. If we see this pattern again, or if we get that nice little sell-off into the higher low structure, we'll keep going for now. Yes, I'm okay with either result because you already know what will happen. XRP prices are moving much higher. I still believe that XRP is ready for a much bigger move. The next big move needs to break through this March resistance level. For now, we just need to wait for the structure to form, get that close up on top of it. On a different note, let's take a look at some things that are happening with XRP since that move was pretty big. We're up about 14.5% in the last month. We're up 16 and 11% in the last week. Plus, on a daily basis, we were up about the same amount, or a little more than 5%. Now we're up about 4.5%. But XRP made a big move. And it kind of did better than most of the top 100. And the reason for that is all the latest news about XRP. The Florida pharmaceutical company Wogistics was the first big one because it confirmed that XRP could be used for real-time payments in a $50 million loan deal. This one was definitely important, and it kind of proved how positive XRP's usefulness really is. Besides that, we got a pretty big update. It could be the first state to get rid of the capital gains tax on stocks, Bitcoin, and XRP. We've learned that Missouri might soon be the first state in the US to get rid of all capital gains taxes. This would have huge effects on people who own crypto, stocks, and real estate. Missouri House Bill 594 passed its final vote in the state assembly and now needs to be signed by Governor Mike Keogh. If it is signed, it would allow people to deduct all of their capital gains from their salary. This includes profits from digital assets like Bitcoin and even XRP. In fact, Bitcoin was worth more than $104,000 at the time they wrote this. XRP stayed the same at $2.38. So we got this report from the Florida pharmaceutical company a couple of days ago, on top of the news that the capital gains tax might be taken away from XRP, Bitcoin, and other things like stocks. Another thing we got was some new information about TradFi, which was the China deal. All of those things made XRP go up a lot. However, what's crazy about this tax bill is that if we get it all passed, it could become a big deal. There are more states that I think will decide to join this. I also think that this might be a good idea for everyone in the US.we. You know that Trump has brought up the idea and talked about it. By the way, it could be very bullish for both coins and stocks. It would take them a lot farther. But it also makes me think of the time we heard from Eric Trump at the beginning of December. Trump has promised that crypto will not be taxed in the US. In the United States, people have gone to war against cryptocurrency. They've sued everyone. The SEC was used to go after them. Eric went on to say that the Ripple team and the XRP community think Donald Trump has the best idea for making America the crypto capital of the world. Trump promised to add crypto to the US Treasury and make crypto tax-free. This happened at the start of December. Look it over. Those groups that have gone to war with cryptocurrency. Guys in the US have gone to war against Bitcoin. There's no doubt about it. They've sued everyone. The SEC was used to go after them. They have started a war. They tried to charge them taxes. Someone who promised to add crypto to the US Treasury and not charge taxes on crypto. Think about all of these amazing things. Also, it's clear that this has something to do with sales. Yes, that's possible. But at the end of the day, I still think that crypto will be tax-free because of the current tech race. And if that actually happens with XRP, for example, it would make XRP and Bitcoin go up a lot. Besides that, though, emotion did bring this to light. The number 3 spot has been taken by XRP, which just passed Tether. In terms of all cryptocurrency, the value of this one is back above $2.61 for the first time since March 6th. The well-known currency has been slightly pulling away from the rest of the pack for a number of reasons. House Bill 594 would make Missouri the first state in the U.S. to offer a final, or, better yet, a full income tax credit on all capital gains, even Bitcoin and XRP profits. The number of people who own XRP has grown by more than 11% so far in 2025. You can now use XRP as a payment method on Travelodge.com. In any case, we are getting close to 6.5 million total holders, which is the first time in the network's more than 12-year history. Also, since the beginning of 2025, the number of XRP wallets that are not empty has grown by over 638,000. You could see that there is a big wave of gathering going on around XRP. First place. Second, the way things are around XRP. Let's be honest. Not only is it very positive, but the crypto market as a whole is also very bullish. This is something I've said many times, especially about the China deal. That seems like one of the most important ones to look into. What about BlackRock now? There's been some talk about whether or not we will soon have XRP ETFs after BlackRock met with the SEC earlier today to talk about crypto. This is because they talked about tokenization. They also talked about certain things related to ETFs. So everyone is wondering if BlackRock will release an XRP ETF. Now listen, we don't know what will happen, but one thing I have made clear is that as soon as BlackRock files for an XRP ETF, the ETF around XRP will be approved very quickly. It happened with Bitcoin. It happened with Ethereum. XRP is the same. Also, what have I talked about a lot of times before? XRP should have an ETF for a good reason. Also, it makes a lot of sense for BlackRock and all of these other big banks to want an XRP ETF. Why? Because XRP has been so strong already this year. Furthermore, XRP is not only the subject of many heavy talks but also the subject of many big updates. XRP keeps getting attention. It keeps making a lot of noise. I would be like, well, what's another way to make a lot of money from crypto? If I were BlackRock, the Bitcoin ETF is already here. The Ethereum ETF is already here. Which cryptocurrency is the third biggest? It's XRP, I see. So it's a move that makes sense. Let's tell the truth. If BlackRock files for an XRP ETF, you can bet that everyone else will do the same and get the green light. Brad Garlinghouse has already said that he thinks the XRP ETF will start in the second half